Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is 𝘿𝙤𝙪𝙩𝙏𝙪 from the 𝘿𝙤𝙪 Law Firm&Partners from Italy, an Italian immigration law firm with expertise on Italian citizenship applications. And welcome back to the channel. I got a rejection of my case. They denied my case. What I can do? What solution I can do? I'm sure that my application is okay. So why they denied my application? What are the solutions? And let's see if the consulate is really wrong. What are the main reasons why the consulate is rejecting the application for Italian citizenship by descent, how you can solve that and find alternative ways to claim your Italian citizenship by descent. Let's start. So let's see a little bit the list of the most common reasons to a denial, for having a denial from the Italian consulate. So when you file your application, you file your application folder with all the documents they requested, or you thought they requested, and they, after years, in most common cases like many years, they decide your application, they will notify you a denial letter. What are the common reasons? So what are the common reasons for an Italian consulate to deny your case? Number one, lack of documentation, or documentation incomplete, or documentation that is wrong. Well, in this case, of course, we have to check on the situation on a case-by-case basis, so it's really difficult to giving you a statistic about this type of denials. But generally, what we see is that the client, the applicant, thought that he had all the documentation, but of course the consulate and the consulate on that is correct. The consulate denied the case. The really common reason for denial because of lack of documents is related to the naturalization documents. When it comes to proving your Italian heritage, so you want to prove that you have an Italian ancestor and the rights of citizenship is uninterrupted to you, up to you, then you can of course provide all the birth records, the marriage records, death records, and also what is really important to the application, maybe the core of the application process, is the naturalization records, if any. What does it mean? It means that when it comes to the Italian ancestor, so the last Italian ancestor you have, so the Italian ancestor that was born in Italy as an Italian citizen and then immigrated, for example, in the US, they took a boat and they immigrated to the US, they landed in the US. What happened there? Most of the time we see people that file the application by using as a proof of naturalization or non-naturalization the so-called US Census record. The US Census record is a document that shows all the information, the census, so all the information about the single person, and that single person on the census record documents lists himself or herself if he was a citizen or not, or an alien, a so-called alien, so an alien immigrant. Many people think, okay, I found out my census record of that year, on that year my Italian ancestor was not an American because he listed himself or herself as an alien immigrant. So it means that, of course, it was an alien, not a citizen. So he kept, or she kept, the Italian citizenship. Well, it's not so easy. Generally, and in almost 100% of cases, the US Census record is not enough, because from one side is not actually an official document, is not a certification from an authority, but the census record is a document that was written and filled up by the same person at that time. So of course it was pretty common that a person, for example, declared himself as an American citizen, but it was not true. At that time there were a lot of discrimination about immigrants, and so of course many people, also for enjoying social security benefits and for other reasons, also for avoiding discrimination, they declared themselves naturalized, but they were not actually. In this case, the Italian consulate, if they decided for a denial because you only file a US Census record, the consulate is right, they are correct. The denial is correct because the US Census record is not enough. You need to actually have documentation, official documentation about the naturalization, like starting from a declaration of intention, the petition for naturalization, and the certificate of naturalization. If for some reason the person really didn't take American citizenship, well, of course, you need to provide a letter from the official authorities, US authorities, stating that they have no records of naturalization. In this way, you can show that you did all your best researches to find if there are naturalization records or not. And so the consulate will see an official document or an official letter say there are no naturalization records. In this way, you can really prove that there are no naturalization in the past. The second reason for denial case is a lack of certification of legalization of documents. When it comes to the application, you have two things that you are using, for example, American, Canadian, Brazilian, Australian documents, so foreign documents, non-Italian documents, for filing an application with an Italian authorities. So you have an Italian authorities that will evaluate a foreign document, a non-Italian document. So in this case, it's very important that the foreign document is so-called legalized, is certified. What does it mean? It means that the Italian authorities, for accepting a foreign document, they need to have a legalization of the document. So the foreign authority, for example, the Secretary of State of the Ministry of International Affairs or other authorities in your country, will have to legalize the document, says the document is true, is accurate, as is saying the truth of the information, about the information listened to the documents. So the only way for the Italian authorities to be sure that the content of the information into the certificate are correct is with the legalization. The documents must be legalized in the way of the apostille of the legalization process before filing the application. So if you fall on these circumstances and actually you say to yourself, well, actually my document didn't have the legalization, or well, I just forgot to attach my naturalization documents, actually the Italian Consulate is correct in their evaluation. So, I mean, they denied and they did it correctly. If not, what you can do? Let's assume that you file your application. Everything, I had everything, I listed everything, I had everything they listed, so, and they just denied. In this case, as long as they will notify you a denial letter, the communication of the denial of your case, you have 30 days to appeal the decision. So an Italian judge from an immigration court can evaluate if the consulate made a mistake, and if yes, the judge will recognize your Italian citizenship. Of course, we can do that for you. We can represent you through a power of attorney, so we can represent you into the process. We have many appeals currently in process because unfortunately, I mean, they are humans, they made mistakes, so it happens, but it's not a problem. A judge will check your case, will check if all the documents are correct, and so we can file the appealing process, the judicial appeal for you. Don't worry. And if you need a consultation about your case, actually, we can also book a consultation for you, so you can talk with one of our attorneys in our team for talking a little bit and in depth into your application process and what happened to you and what you can do, the best solution and the best strategies for your case. And as always, you can also leave here comments below on the YouTube video. You can leave comment because the team is always happy to reply to your comments. Of course, we cannot do consultations on the comments, so please do not write specific questions about your case because of course we cannot do consultations on YouTube. But we are really happy to touch base with you here on YouTube, but also on our social media. You can contact us through Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook too. You can search for us. So anytime there are updates about any argument, any topic, a relevant topic for citizenship, we'll also post it to the social media. So follow us on all the social media platforms. We ended for today and see you on the next videos.